Normally I like to wait until all of the podium is done, but Marvin's never gonna stop, so we might as well just get started now, because if I wait for him to be done, the show will never start. That's what I'm trying to say. Not a great fantasy night for me. I don't know about y'all. How'd y'all do? Don't hate on him. If someone was paying you the kind of money, you do the same. Tim, I'm just saying. I've been here before. I know what I'm about. I know what it's about. And it's not good, okay? It's a lot. It's so much. Michael, alright, Joel, cool man. Tim, what's up, guys? It's good to see y'all. Yo, it feels weird to be back. I'm not gonna lie. Even just watching the race at home, just everything was so weird after having the weeks off, being in the event and everything. So it's been what it is. 224, 79, yeah, 79, dude, the 250s was garbage. I should have won FFL. I knew I should have done it. Johnny, it's good to see you. What up? How you doing? I don't know. I did go Jurin, and that was a dumb idea. I didn't know who to take for my last guy, because everybody was hurt, and I didn't like anybody. So I was like, I have a good chance of getting a 0 out of any of these people. But I'm in that weird spot in the championship where I'm in like 600th, and I'm like, that's not good enough. I need to make up points. I can't afford to leave a 16 on the table that might make the main. But I immediately regretted it before the heats even started. So whatever, it's on me. Tim, I'm glad to be back. I'm happy to be here. Andrew, what's up? What happened? I worked tonight, so I didn't get to see anything. How in-depth do you want me to go, Andrew? Hunter Lawrence won. Christian Craig hit the ground. He said he was cleaned out. That was a lie. That was a lie. Never pick a rookie. Michael Treese, do you think that Colin Jurin is a rookie? Do we need to have a conversation right now? Oh, 164. Dude, the 250s were gnarly. I just hate it because I didn't like any picks. I didn't like anybody in the class. I didn't think anybody was a good pick. So no matter who I picked, I wouldn't have been happy with it. So it is what it is. We're moving on. We're moving up. We're going to get better. Or whatever. Isn't that what they say? That's stuff they say, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Andrew, it was good racing. Nothing crazy happened. I think the only moment of the weekend that anybody's going to be talking... Well, no, that's not true. Supercross rookie Michael Treese, he made a Supercross in Seattle in 2018. I posted that in the Discord. Bro, Why is Craig a crybaby? Jason, that's what I was going to say. The only moment that was really worth any kind of wording is the... I'll see if I can find it on Twitter or something. The moment was Craig and Mosiman, and it was just... Like, don't get me wrong, it was like the lowest level of aggressive move I've ever seen. Does that make sense? It was just... It wasn't even bad, but it was an aggressive Supercross move, but it was not, it was like, I don't know, it was like a sunburn more than any other kind of burn. All right, we got it right here. We'll pull it up right here. Can I do this? I'll have to hide my face. Can I do that with my face? No, that's not it. That one, nope. Damn, man, I don't know how to do this. Display capture, cam link. Yeah, and then, image. There you go. Here's the move. This is what everybody will be talking about. Yeah, Christian Craig said that was a clean out. He used the word cleaned out on the podium. A clean out. He said, quote, "This is the third time this year that I've been cleaned out." Cleaned out. Allegedly. That's what they call that these days. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. It was a good pass. It was a good pass. If I wouldn't have seen it on replay, I was like, I don't even know if they touched. On first angle and even second angle, it wasn't until like the third angle that I was like, okay, they definitely made contact. Like they definitely made contact. He didn't like guy bend his rotor. Sinful, people bend their rotor without hitting anybody pretty often, which is really ridiculous. A rock can bend your rotor. So I'm not saying that didn't happen, but also, if you get hit by a back wheel, that's not really, I'm not saying that that's not on them. I'm not saying that's on you, but like he got hit by his back, it was his back rotor. Whatever. Craig could have checked up, squared him up, gone underneath, passed him back, and it would have been nothing. But it doesn't matter because he has all the points in the world and nobody can really hold a candle to him because he is older. He is older than the entire top 5 of the 450 class. Oh, my TV went out before the meet. No, 1, 2, 3 was Tomac, Anderson, Muskin. Malcolm was 4, Barsha 5, Webb 6. That was the lead lap. That was the lead lap. I repeat, the lead lap was 6 guys, and they're all former race winners. I don't even want to talk about lappers because it is what it is. The system isn't broken. The injuries are. We wouldn't be lapping up to 6th place if Kenny was out there and Chase was out there and Ferrandis and Brayton and Roczen and who else is even hurt? Anstie. Like, we wouldn't be lapping up within the top 10 if the class was full. But when it gets this thin and you've got guys like, no offense, Tristan Lane, Kevin Moran's, making literally every main these last couple rounds, that's what's going to happen, Juwan Cross, didn't he go in straight through the heat, or did he end up having to go to the LCQ? It just what is he? Lapped up to 6th, man. Tomac is, I am neither a Tomac fan or like agitator. I don't really have an opinion. For me, I rooted for Tomac in 2017 because it was kind of like anybody but Dungey at that point. But I mean, like, full respect to the guy. Full props, full respect. I brought out the full Mariners gear because we're in Seattle. So don't hold that against me if you're like, why are you wearing baseball? It's all Seattle. Cross went from the heat. Okay, I was going to say. Wait, no, I got conflicting. Either way, he was in easily. He was in pretty easily. It's good to see. 215, 334. Vic, it hurts. It hurts to see it. I want to know how much I dropped. Yo, I'm not even mad, dude. If you're going to drop to any number, this is the number to drop to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every non-all-star scored double points. Oh yeah, Gerald, that happens kind of regularly, actually. It's kind of disappointing. Typically, if you look at most weekends, it's like 1 or 2 guys miss double points. I swear once upon a time, scoring double was in itself a achievement, but that's why whenever I make the videos and stuff, I always tell you guys, hey, your goal isn't double points. Everybody gets double points. You need a guy that's going to get 30, 32, 34. Like, that's where you should be looking. So I had 250s doesn't matter, but 450s, Hartraft, Oldenburg, and Amart. I still think Amart's leaving a lot on the table here, but it is what it is. But Oldenburg was the guy to have. He was as high as 46 there for a while. He must have went down. He was running 8th and then dropped down to 10th and then passed Hartraft right back. So, but yeah, this is what you want. This is how you win a championship. You just want 8 of these type of guys every single weekend, and that's all you need, Oh, Rod Bell, that's harsh. I'm sorry, Josh. Triple Crown is next, so we are off next weekend. I am trying to rig up something. I don't know what, but we're going to be off for the weekend, and I feel like we should do something. I just don't know what we're going to do. So maybe I'll talk to the guys about doing, maybe we can watch an old race or something. Like, we can just put up an old race and then get like a half-ass commentary crew on it. Or maybe we can do like an MX Bikes lobby or something. I don't know. But I don't like off weeks, and I know you guys don't either. How old are you? I am old enough to be offended by the question, I guess. Vic, I had Schloss since like Tuesday. I didn't even have his handicap yet, and I was like, I'm in on Schloss. And then I saw his handicap on Thursday, and I was like, I'm in on Schloss, yeah. But I don't even remember who I originally had that I ended up with Jurin, but I wanted Thury, but he's hurt, coming off of injury. He literally said, I'm still hurt. I wanted Mitchell Harrison, but he said, my foot is broken. And I was like, oh man, like everybody is hurt. Everybody. Like everybody. You know what I mean? So I was like, if I'm gonna take a flyer on anybody, I might as well go to the moon. And I was wrong. Get RC out of the booth. Trent, you don't like RC? Well, who do you want better? I asked this question on Twitter. I got a little bit of pushback, but I said we need a consistent team. That's what I want. Can we get a consistent team of guys in the booth? Who can we get? I want the same two guys every week. And I just don't understand. I don't know. Like nobody will be sufficed. Nobody liked Ralph. We got rid of Ralph. Nobody likes RC. Blair is the only one people like, but then even then, some people don't like Blair. It's just I don't think there's a good answer. It will never be satisfied. You know what I mean? You think Tomac can get Ricky's record for most wins this season? Colby, no, because what he needs to win 4 more? Is it 4 more to get Ricky? So he'd have to win 4 of the next 5 to tie, and he'd have to win all 5 of them to get it. I'm gonna say no, but he can get it. He can get it next. He can get it next time. You know what I mean? Ralph is better than Diffie. I don't mind Lee. I don't know who I want. That's my biggest problem. I don't know. I don't even know who I would want. I don't know if Weege wants to do it. That's my problem. A lot of people say Weege, but if Weege was going to be a full-time announcer, he would have to give up the, like, Racer X gig, and I don't know if he wants to do that. You know what I mean? Back up to 161. Hell yeah, Mikey. Look at you go. Blair and RC is the best recently. It is the best recently. It's also publicity of, you know, do you think that having, like, I personally don't. I think that I think NBC, I think Feld, I think Supercross, they think that having somebody like a Ricky, like a McGrath, like an Emig, like a past champion, Langston, I think they think that lends a legitimacy to it where people are going, oh man, this guy's a past champion. I should listen to what I'm saying. But I literally don't think people care. If you're getting into the sport now as a casual fan, you don't know who Ricky Carmichael is. We all do, obviously. But if you're literally getting into the sport brand new right now, you don't know who Ricky Carmichael is, and you don't care. Like, so I don't think it really matters there. Kellen would take over. I like Kellen. They would probably never give him that opportunity though, which is really unfortunate. They would just never do it. I don't know if Denny wants that kind of responsibility anymore. And I don't know if Denny, because I'm right there with him. Like this is the pot calling the kettle black. I don't know if Feld would be okay with the type of tirades Denny launches on Twitter. What's your opinion on Pauly and Cartwright? Easton, what about them? Lots of people like Tony Romo for the NFL, and he's not an all-timer by any means. True, that's true, yeah. Yeah, he was just pretty good. But that's it. He was just pretty good. The first wash the race, do we really need commentators? I think you need to. I think you need to have commentators, Joe. I think it is. I think it just makes it feel like a real legitimate sport to have commentators. So I think we definitely would have to do it. You know what I mean? Langston is in as long as Phil doesn't make him get the job. Josh, that bridge is long since burned, so I don't think we're getting that anyway. Get AC in the booth, but Johnny, that means that AC has to stop racing, and I'm not ready for it yet. Jed or Craig in the shootout? Trent. Man, I don't know. That's a great question. I know we've seen the track map, but without knowing the conditions of the track, because it is in Atlanta, which is kind of sort of an outdoor, not really, not like they used to be, but we still think of those speedways as being more of an outdoor. I'm going to go Craig, because I think if things go wrong, Craig will respond better. But I think it's very close. You know what I mean? hard to say. Do you like them or dislike them? I don't really have an opinion, Easton, if I'm being honest. I like Bubba Pauly because he was the first rider. He's not the first rider, but he was one of the first riders that I ever reached out to for a quote for media, and he responded immediately, and he gave me more than I asked for. So I really appreciated that from him. But beyond that, I've never really talked to either of them. So I don't really have I can't really judge. I respect both of them for their programs and what they do, but I don't really have like a like or dislike opinion, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? A 30-year-old versus an 18-year-old. EU, I literally lost it. I was telling the wife when they were talking about Christian Craig being 30, and I was like, just for reference, that means he's older than Eli, Malcolm, Roczen, Sexton, Ferrandis, Anderson, like every single person that is a top, everybody but Muskin. And then when they were like, oh, it's Justin Barsh's 30th birthday, and she was like, he's almost as old as Christian Craig. Oh, man. Rochelle, hello. But that was a good one. Craig fast AF tonight, but Jet is dominant. It's going to be a great race. Yeah. It'll just be, I think that it's going to come down to who can respond to adversity better. You know what I mean? And I think that Craig will be able to do that. Now, with that being said, obviously Jet was dead last down in the first corner and won a heat race. So that's really impressive, but we'll see. We'll see. Look at the winner of the fantasy weekend. Oh, man. You know what's sad is I almost had this team, dude. I had 30 and Kelly both on mine for a little while. 292 isn't even that good. Derek Elliott at 2. I looked at him because, Vic, I think this is a great example. Actually, this team right here is a great example. Let's talk about it really quick. A lot of people think the only way to win the week, to win a jersey, is to go 16s and Colin Jurens and whatever. Look at these handicaps. Kelly's a 2, Bloss is a 2, Thury's a 6, Hartraft was a 5, Oldenburg is a 6, Bogle is a 3. 292. That's it, man. You just have to pick the right guys. Now, I don't think this person was trying to pick a jersey winning team. They just picked the smartest team they could, and sometimes it pays off. You know what I mean? Just woke up. Jay, 250s. Hunter won. Craig was leading early. Mosiman made a very good pass with a small amount of contact. Craig went down, dropped back to 5th or 6th, and then passed his way back up to 2nd, but was not able to catch Hunter ultimately. Who's your favorite racer? Oh man, Nikki. It's really weird because now that I'm doing media and fantasy really heavily, I don't really have personal rootings anymore, but I love AC. I like Chase Sexton. I love Phil Nicoletti. You know what? I love Phil Nicoletti. Give me Phil Nicoletti. Stamp it. Favorite guy is Phil. FFL. Oh, for sure, Chris. It did. And I hate it because I called these two on the video. I said Craig and Tomac are the 2 to go with. I just didn't have the guts to pull the trigger, and I regret it. You know what I mean? Please explain the logic of Bogle at a 2. Was Bogle a 2 or was he a 3? I thought he was a 3. Regardless, Vic, I think with the field as thin as it is, we know that Bogle has the upside. And again, I know that, and I agree with you. I don't think this is, I didn't like the Bogle pick either, but if you're looking for, this is the kind of upside pick you should go with over the Colin Jurin, types, because he is at least definitely in the main. But he also, like, if Bogle got 7th, would anybody be that surprised in this field? You wouldn't be that surprised, you know what I mean? So, he's not on my team, but I don't hate the pick, if that makes sense. Favorite of all time, McGrath. If you want to know how old I am, my favorite is McGrath. That probably tells you everything you can, you know what I mean? Have you ever raced? Easton, I used to race as a child. I raced up until I was 12. I was heavily into flat track. I raced a little bit of everything. I did motocross, I did flat track, we did hare scrambles, but flat track was the thing that I was probably the best at. I did the amateur nationals. My last year I got 5th overall, but that's like my biggest claim to fame. It was nothing crazy. Mosiman bent a brake. Yeah, it was a rotor wing nut. Yeah, got the lead, then seemed like he was dragging an anchor. Yeah, bent his rear rotor, so essentially he didn't have back brakes for that. If you start in the media stuff, do you find yourself picking with your heart over your stats? A little bit, Jake. A little bit. Last week, who did I have last week? It was Grant Harlan. Grant was a pure heart pick instead of a head pick, and I shouldn't have done it. Pure heart pick, and I regret it. It is what it is. Where did Dino? Dean was 7th, Austin. Dean was 7th. Dude, Mikkel, do you feel like Sexton wrecks as much as AC? It's just that AC gets hurt and Sexton doesn't. I mean, I know he ended up not racing tonight, but he got up and rode off. It was ridiculous, man. Yo, Andrew, let's go M's. Did you guys see Daniel Harriman's gear? Nobody, I saw it in photos. They didn't put it up on the broadcast, but he was rocking some old Seattle Mariner, like the royal blue and yellow gear. It was pretty sweet. Easton, Tomac won. He won his 5th in a row. So look for Tomac to have maybe a -2 going into St. Louis. Tumbling classes. You know what? That's a great idea. Enroll your child in tumbling classes so that they can live to race another day. How about Blackburn? Oh my God. That was ridiculous, man. Like, he barely even touched the ground before he was already back up, and he just straight Goldberg speared Sanford. And right, dude, I don't blame him either. Like, Sanford's move was just wasn't a good move. That wasn't even the pass for 4th. I think they were running 5th and 6th, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. It was not great. Oh, it's crazy to watch you grow and all the newbies question you. All the newbies. Mikey, I know, right? It's interesting for sure. I would love to mute the Supercross announcers. I agree, DS. I wish they would give you an option of, can I get the audio, but it's with no, even later, even if you could get it on replay, like, you know how if you watch something, you can change the language and stuff like that. Can I get that, but I can change who I can hear? Because, dude, that'd be incredible. I feel like if they did a no commentator track, a lot of people would choose to watch other people. Like, go on YouTube and listen to somebody else commentate it. I feel like there would be a big market for that. I really do. Decided to go to Atlanta. Michael, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Nothing good happens in St. Louis. Atlanta is indeed a showdown. Yeah, so for fantasy, I know we'll have 2 weeks off, so it won't matter. But for now, Triple Crown this weekend, and then whoever you pick on the East, you cannot pick for the East-West Showdown the week after. So that's going to be a little bit of strategy there of who to pick and who not. Blackburn was the closest he had ever been to making me. Oh, no, I get it, Matt. Like, I get it 100%. And that visceral reaction of just running over and smashing the guy, I totally get it. I don't blame him at all. Easton, you're going to St. Louis? That's cool. I know him, he's such a mild guy, completely out of character. You'll have to get a quote from him or something. Be like, dude, what is going on with you? My strategy for 250 showdowns, I go 4 all-stars. Has worked for me every time. Vic, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous strategy. But if it works, it works. I really like St. Louis, but I want to see a showdown. That's fair, Michael. I did a showdown in 2018. I think it was in Indy. I think it was the first year they did the showdown. Jeremy Martin won. And that was the year that it was a showdown. And I think it was like Luke Rensland got a podium. It was somebody really weird got a podium. I'm pretty sure that was the year. But I don't blame you. I don't blame you especially for the pit party. And especially being in Atlanta where it'll be hopefully nice weather. Doing a pit party where you can meet everybody would be really tight. Super pumped for Eli putting that Monster Energy now available at Amazon. Star Racing Yamaha on the box. God. Oh, now available at Amazon. Hey, can we talk about these toys? Man, I'm not trying to pile on about some stuff that doesn't matter. Hey, Chris, I appreciate you being in here, man. Take care. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. But, man, those toys are whack. You guys remember, right? You guys remember the toys? I want to say they were Hot Wheels branded bikes back in like, I remember I had a Shea Bentley and it had the suspension actually worked and it would make like two-stroke sounds. Oh, and then these things look like they were from 1974. Do you play motocross games? Easton, I play MX bikes. I have played Sim, but I don't really like Sim. And I didn't buy the Supercross game this year. You gotta hit up the Chili Spot. Josh, what's the name? Is it just called the Chili Spot? We'll be in St. Louis Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think we always do sushi. There's a really nice sushi place in town. Hopefully I will definitely be doing press day. Hopefully wife will be doing press day with me on Friday. We'll be doing the Pulp show. So if any of you guys are going to be in St. Louis and go to the Pulp show on Friday, I'll be there. And then obviously the race all day Saturday. I think we're going to catch a cards game on Sunday. They're playing the Pirates on Sunday. And I was like, yo, maybe we could get one before we drive home. They still make the toys like that too, but they break. Oh, really, Chris? I didn't know this. I didn't know that. It's good to see you too, buddy. For kids, it's actually way better because they don't break. For us, yeah, they just look terrible, Chris. Like, they literally look... I could 3D print something better than that. It's just so bad. Just bad. Y'all hear him say, it's not over, something bad could... It's not over, something bad could happen to Eli. Like, yeah, Trent, I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, the title is over, and that's okay, man. Props to Eli for going out and stretching a 54-point lead now. Whatever. Who cares? Let him do it. The racing is still phenomenal. Racing is still good. Don't even care. Helmet view for games, car or dirt bike is best. DS, I'm with you. I like the cockpit. I have a hard time doing cockpit view on Supercross games. So when I did MXGP, I always did first person. But doing Supercross, I don't know if it was just that it was harder for me to judge the depths or whatever of jumps. I had a better time in third person. But the only other racing game I really play is F1. And I do like, I guess it's like TV cam where it's kind of mounted. It's like, it looks like where your helmet would be, but it's higher. I like that one. See Eli start. Chris, dude, I don't know what it is, but these long start straights, he has been absolutely crushing them. I thought Anderson, because if you watch the replay, Anderson has the best jump. He actually times the gate just a little bit, like he gets the roll on just a little early, and I was like, oh, Anderson's gonna smoke this thing. And then Eli pulls it anyway. I don't know if it's the bike or whatever, but it's impressive. Yeah, I want it to be in North Carolina too, Josh. I think that'd be cool. I would definitely come down for Charlotte. I'd be in on it. Remember AC in Vegas? Anything can happen. Oh, Vic, for sure, but he's got a 2-race lead, man. Like, Eli could literally just straight up take a month vacation and show back up in, round 14 or whatever, and still be leading the championship. Just ridiculous. Thoughts on TLD GoPro footage? They need to put it back on the helmet. Jason, they're legally not allowed to put it on the helmet. AMA made a rule. You're not allowed to have helmet-mounted GoPros in competition. That's why they're no longer there. You can do it on the chest, or you can do it on the bike, but you can no longer have it on your helmet anywhere. Because I always thought it was going to be at the top of the helmet was the problem. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that mount. It's like a clamp mount to the front of the face. That's a really cool angle, but they can't do any of them, unfortunately. That hump was more of a jump versus just a drop off. Yeah, that one was weird. That was a weird one, Chris, because the one they had, what round was that? Like 3 or 4 ago that they had the little dip. This one was weirder than that one for sure. Do you win anything for winning the RotoX League? Ryan, not this year, no, because this year I went all in on getting stuff for the Patreon every month, so I don't have anything for the RotoX League this year. I haven't even promoted the RotoX League. I've been really slacking on it. This year, everything happened so fast. I wasn't ready. I'm still not ready. I'm still trying to adjust. It's bad. Anderson rolls the start. I got a phone video of A3 hole shot from right behind the gate at right field. That's so rad, DS. I love that. Yamaha's giving Eli what he wants. Should this be a sign to other teams for their riders? Zach, yeah, but with that being said, I don't think that every rider actually knows best. You know, I don't think that this is, I don't think they should take this with too much seriousness, if that makes sense. Like, Eli doing it doesn't mean everybody's going to be able to do it, if that makes sense. Minneapolis had, okay, is that what it was? I got smashed by Moran's bike. No way, dude. Dude, Moran's was all over the place tonight. I love that guy, nicest guy. But he is sketchy. He is a little sketchy. Nashville had a way bigger turnout than tonight's Seattle. To be fair though, I think Seattle was just weird because a lot of people were expecting it to rain. Seattle's in this really weird space where it's too far north to have it earlier in the year, but because they have to have it later in the year, they can't do it on the baseball stadium because the Mariners need it. You know, in any other year that's not shortened by the strike, the Mariners will be playing there in like 4 days, so they cannot possibly do it in the baseball stadium. And the football stadium being open air is just a dumb idea. I don't know who did that stupidest idea. How weird was the corner coming back across the start straight seemed to be. Yeah, Jake, it was weird. I thought people were gonna maybe do it differently, but they didn't. They kept slamming into that thing, and I thought that was really weird that they kept slamming into it. They lapped up so far, I would have thought it was 30 seconds. Yeah, Wayne, that's the thing, is that, you know, you got to think about it, that, you know, Brandon Hartraft gets lapped every race, and now that guy's top 10. He's in opening ceremonies. It's just kind of how it goes, you know? God, everybody got bit by Jurin, too. I mean, we knew that was going to happen, but that's kind of why I picked him. I was like, I'll live and die by the field. Oh, well. I was tripping. Yeah, Ryan, I thought it was weird, too. Like, it was definitely really loud. But with that being said, if there's anything I know about Seattle sports fans, it's that they're literally known for being the loudest sports fans. And correct me if I'm wrong, they literally built that stadium to make it loud. They literally did that, like the 12th man and all that. So maybe that's what it is. Must situation. Oh my God. Oh my God, Zach, my favorite thing about it is I wish I could ask Ricky. If I ever get in the same breathing space as Ricky Carmichael, I'm going to ask him, Ricky, what is a must situation? I Googled it, and the only Google result is a Vital thread asking, what the hell is Ricky talking about when he says must situation? I need to know. I know what he means, but I'm like, but what do you think it's an actual thing, or are you just trying to make it happen? Anyway, whatever. To be honest, we knew better not to pick Jaron. I know, Vic. We should have went to All-Stars, and you're right. I never go to All-Stars. It's not my way. It's not my bag. I don't do it. Next year going to be better with all the factory guys back. Joey, I just hope that people are able to stay. This year has just been exceptionally bad. And I don't know if it's the pressure or if it's the bikes, because we all know these bikes are incredibly hard to handle, especially the 450s or whatever it is. But it's just it's so disappointing and so disheartening that we have the deepest field we've ever had, but it doesn't matter because none of them can stay healthy. Literally none of them can stay healthy. It sucks so bad, you know what I mean? Oh, Shimoda. Shimoda did his best to go for that podium. He tried so hard, and I love him for that. And despite all of that, if you guys saw, he still rode up to Mosiman after the race and like fist bumped and talked it out, which I always really appreciate. Sexton needs some time off or what? Sleep. He's just young, man. I think we forget about it. Like, it's weird that we can't stop talking about how young Jet is, but we can't keep talking about how young Sexton is. He's what, 22? He turned pro in 2018. He had 3 years on the 250 and 2 years on the 450. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is what normal young riders do. You know what I mean? Move back up to 23rd in Idiots and 68th in Champ League tonight after a couple of off weeks. Hell yeah! Look at you go, Chris. You love to see it. What was your score? 200 flat, Tim. I had to salvage it. It was not a good one. He's always back. He really is, though. He really is. I bet Jason kind of felt bad after Sexton went down because he was hounding him right before. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody brought up, is this something that Honda should be concerned about? I don't think so, but it is interesting to note that that is two pretty big get-offs. Hunter's was not nearly as bad. of hitting a false neutral going from what looks like second to third. And maybe maybe that should be looked at, you know what I mean? Swole had me so nervous. I just hate it, Chris, because our sport is just so treacherous that, I wouldn't have been surprised if Swole, after his A1 crash, if he just said, I ain't doing this anymore. Like, F this, I'm out. That was gnarly. He fell from like a second-story building, you know what I mean? None of these guys, was it Bogle? I think it was Bogle when Jet crossed and tagged Faulkner and they went down. Bogle responded to somebody on Twitter and said, I got cross-jumped once and I have never been the same. Like, my career has never recovered. And I just wonder how many of these guys, like, once they have one big get-off, like, it literally changes you. You know what I mean? Sexton is awesome if you ignore the crashes. Yeah. Do you think Malcolm lost a little wind in the sails tonight? No, I don't think so. This is normal. Like, there's just gonna be some nights where the guys just don't have it. You know what I mean? Barsha was rocking some damn enduro bark buster handguards tonight. Yeah, I think they were all expecting the rain, and they did not get it. They did not get it. I believe Bogle was talking about that big off of Monster Cup. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, Vic. I couldn't remember the date on it because I wanted to find the footage, but I was like, I don't remember. I don't remember what year it was because it was like 2014, 2015. I don't remember. How bad was Webb's concrete crash? Yeah, I don't know, CB. I didn't get to see it. All I saw was what you guys saw, and it's amazing that there were literally 0 cameras on it. You'd think that they would have had one. Malcolm Outdoors, though, that'll be interesting, Colby. That'll be interesting to see. I mean, I hope for the best. I am also just fearful for him because I think there's a reason why he doesn't want to race outdoors, and I really hope that he has a good season and it's not a mistake for him. You know what I mean? Barsha's finger is disgusting. Handguards just to help hide him more. There you go. Also, somebody asked, I read it in my head and I was going to finish my thought, but somebody asked if I watched any other racing. I watch F1. I started watching IndyCar this year. IndyCar, I'm just not really into IndyCar, but I'm watching. I'm trying to get into it. I'm just really not. Craig, oh man, Tat, I know we talked about it earlier. It's just so weird to me that Craig was so incredibly likable when he was on Geico, and I don't think it has anything to do with his switch to the other team. It's just weird how incredibly dry he has become. You know what I mean? Like, even just when he talks on the podium and stuff, I'm just like, he just has nothing to say, and it's just blaming things. And it's not even like take responsibility for your actions, but he was like, oh, this is the 3rd time I've been cleaned out this season. I'm like, cleaned out? Okay. Cleaned out. Sure. Whatever you say, buddy. How long is Webb's contract? He's up this year, Austin, actually. This is a contract year for Cooper, so he is up this year. I don't see him going anywhere, though. I think that they mesh really well over there. I think Mookie will be top 10. Yeah, Ryan, I agree. I think that anything less than that would be like a real disappointment for him because he's a really good rider. I wouldn't be surprised if he did better than that, but I don't think he's going to push himself. I agree with you. He doesn't have to say anything. He's dominating the kids. But Shane, these guys are still influencers. And I wonder how much of Christian Craig's popularity is tied to his YouTube presence, which barely has anything to do with him at all. Like, it's all, the YouTube is run by his wife. Well, she films it, and it's all about the kids. I just wonder how much of his good favor is not even tied to him at all. You know what I mean? Marv had the quietest 3rd place ever. But, that's sometimes what you need. Quiet is good with everybody else dropping around him. That this year, quiet is good, Webb is back at Alden's. The shown commitment will allow him to extension. Yeah, I agree, Vic. I agree 100%. I didn't think they were going to cut him anyway. It's really hard to cut a guy that won 2 titles in 4 years. You know what I mean? Normally don't. Yeah, Wingnut. Mosiman went in there. Mosiman went in hard. Like, he was sprinting. And but obviously we know now that he had a bent rotor. But I also just assume, he probably wore himself out. sprinting so hard early in the thing. You know what I mean? The super tight gear is for performance or just looks? Do you have an opinion? Sleep, probably both. I personally like the tighter gear. I would imagine that with riders going less and less under protection, that the more form-fitting gear, like FXR's gear, is very, very well fit, I should say. And I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think having if you guys have ever, I mean, with coats and stuff, it's always better to have there's a reason Under Armour's fit tight. Like, tighter fitting helps no matter what you want to do with your body. Marvin Moostwin. Oh my God. Could you imagine? I totally agree on the YouTube thing. It seems like they hired a media company to film him. And I think it's a good idea, Shane. Like, because you might not notice it because they're privateers, but like AJ Catanzaro has a guy film and edit everything. He doesn't do that himself. Kevin Moranz has a guy film and edit. Alex Martin has a guy film and edit. Like, that's a thing. That's a thing they should do. I think it's good for the sport, but I just feel like I watch Moranz, I watch Troll Train, I watch AJ, and I feel like I'm watching an extension of them. But when I watch Craig's vlog, I don't feel like I'm watching a Christian Craig vlog. I feel like I'm watching an HGTV show. You know what I mean? Oh, Checo tomorrow. Let's go. Let's go, Dirty Out. I actually picked him up on my fantasy team this week. I dropped Russell for Checo. I've got Magnussen, Bottas, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, and Ferrari. It's a good one. Does anyone want to play GT7 shifter carts? Oh, beef. Look at you go. How I heard GT7 kind of sucks. Is it kind of suck? I'm out. Not a hater, but Craig is just a dumb rider. Should be so much better like Jet. And Michael, I just hate it because as much as he kind of like whines about it. Now, I will say the way that he would catch and dispatch Vince and sprint away from him, I thought was a good indication to show that he is ready for the 450 class. Because I think Vince moving down has been really cool, and having Oldenburg fluctuating, like having a lot of these guys fluctuating between classes will help show you where you're going to be. And I talked about that before, love him or hate him, whatever you want to say about Vince Friese, having him in the 250 class is a great training tool for the riders and the teams to show if they're ready to move up or not. Because like you look at Shimoda, he is not ready to move up because he does not know how to handle Vince Friese. And there are a lot of Vince Friese type of guys in the 450 class. But Craig does. He knows he could catch Friese, spend a couple, sections with him, pass him clean, and get away. And that's what you need to do with Frieses and Andersons and Barshes, etc. But the way that he acts like if anybody rides him any amount of rough, any amount of aggressive, and he's immediately like, well, I get cleaned out. It's not going to fly, man. It's not going to fly in the 450 class, and he needs to, he's going to have to do some reflecting because I don't think he's going to be all that in the 450 class, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yo, Heat Race Vince, man. I'm so excited for him. I was just watching Mike Alessi when he cried after winning the Heat Race a couple years ago, if you guys remember that. Can I just say, so I haven't been able to talk to you guys like this since, but I went to Indy. I did press day on Friday. And then I got invited to go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and film something. Did they show that on the broadcast, by the way, last weekend? I didn't watch the whole race back. But did they show all the riders at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the race? But man, Vince was the nicest guy. Just super nice guy. I don't know. Like, it is what it is, and everybody has their own little riding style, but of all the people, it was Star Racing was there, Moto Concepts Honda was there, obviously. McAdoo was there, Pro Circuit, but it was just McAdoo. And then Rockstar Husky was there. I think those were the 4 teams. And out of everybody there, and they were all fine and nice and whatever, but like of everybody there, Vince was the nicest guy. Is what it is, you know what I mean? Nice to rate. Yeah, like you referenced, he was literally that nice. He was literally that nice. I'm not even kidding. I would cry if I want a pro heat race in any. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. If MX gear gets any tighter, Barcia is going to be getting fines for indecent exposure. I don't know about all that. I don't know about that, Zach. I don't know, man. You don't want to see dumpers. You don't want to see, like, I think the dudes having butts, it's good for the sport, man. Did you know NASCAR is like 48%? I don't remember what I saw the percentage earlier, but it's right around 50, like 48% female now fan base. And I'm like, let's get that in motocross. We need more. I see my analytics on YouTube. We're rocking 95% dudes, man. Whatever we can get to get a little bit more girl action in the sports is good for me, you know? Vince is a great dude, but yeah, and I don't mind it. I love him for it. You know what I mean? His bank account just got a huge deposit, I'm sure. For sure. I've talked to Vince once. Super nice guy. We're from the same hometown. That's wild, Vic. Yeah, but yeah, he was cool. And don't get me wrong, Brayton was also a very nice guy. But Vince was the one that saw me as another person on the field trip and not just like a media guy, if that makes sense. Webb is worth big money still, and it's probably going to be green, but KTM wants to keep him. I just don't think he would. I don't think he would mesh. If I'm being honest, I don't think he would mesh well with Monster. I think Monster Kawasaki. Monster Kawasaki benefits from good marketing, and I don't think Cooper fits in over there. I think having AC, Eli, Anderson, like, I think those kind of guys are better over there. Cooper's just a little too reserved, a little too much results first and everything else second. I don't know, but I obviously don't run a pro team either. Yo, Tanner, thank you. I'll pull in for them since they traded for Wink. I know, right? Yeah, they're actually going to do some moves this year. They're still going to go 84-78 and miss the freaking playoffs, but it is what it is. It's fun to think about. Got my room for Disnations. Who's coming with me? Al, I actually asked RotoWife. I said, I was like, maybe we'll do it. My big thing is, by the time, full disclosure, I love doing this with y'all. Like, I love making the videos and doing fantasy and doing the live shows, but I feel like a school teacher, and once the, once that final race of the year ends, I really like my 3 months off. I'm really looking forward to it. You know what I mean? It's weird. The personality doesn't match the landmine style of riding from Vince. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I guess we're always just so used to seeing, I don't know. Barcia is the prototypical bad boy, both in his attitude and his riding, but that's not how everybody is. You know what I mean? Reds are a depressing franchise. Yeah, I know. The 1 year, Tanner, that I was like, yo, I'm going to root for the Reds. They were in the playoffs and all my teams were eliminated. And I was like, yeah, but let's do Reds. And they got no hit in the first game of the playoffs. And I was like, that's great. We love that. Who offered count? Yeah, it was Rocky Wingnut. Yeah, Rocky Mountain offered the ride to Carnow and Starling. I don't know who first. And Tristan Lane. And from what I heard Tristan Lane was going to take it, but then Tristan Lane didn't, so I don't know. It's always cool to see the non-factory teams win the heats. Give them a chance for an interview. For sure. I wish we would bring back LCQ interviews on TV, too. Like, John Shorts should have got an interview, man. That would have been so cool. Hands down, MXDN is a must, especially since it's so close to home. The different cultures you see in meet is the best part, I think. Jake, I just don't know if my biggest problem is, like, my lines have been so blurred from fan to, like, media person that I don't even know if I would appreciate it, though, like I should, because I'll be trying to make content the whole time. Like, the whole time I'll be thinking about how I could be making content or how I wish I was making content. It's gonna mess me up. I don't know. I'm really not stoked on it, you know? I thought Jeremy had different starts since being an arena cross guy, but man, his starts were terrible. Tanner, I know. I feel like you're like me, where Tanner, me and you are not having bad fantasy years, but we're not having as good as we expect to have. So I've been going a little too F it the last 2 rounds because I'm like, I need to make a splash. I can't keep doing what I always do and end up in the top 400. That's not good enough for me. That's good enough for some people, but like not for you and me. So I knew it was a bad idea, but I was like, my literal thought process was, I was like, well, if I get a 0, so will a lot of other people. You know what I mean? So be it. Mookie doesn't get the respect he deserves. He is a consistent top. Oh, Zach, I think he gets the respect he deserves. I think he does. It's hard. It is hard because with there being so many guys that are literal championship contenders around him. But I mean, nobody is disrespecting Malcolm right now. You know what I mean? Be Wicked, you should play you can play fantasy now. You can play it for free. You don't have to pay. If you want to play it just to check it out, create an account, go to pulpmxfantasy.com, create an account. You can pick next week. No big deal. Well, not next week, but the week after. Series would be boring at this point without the passing drama and the aggressive riding. Half the conversation would disappear. Oh yeah, Sleep. Imagine if this was a I don't know. It almost feels like 2017 without Tomac. You know what I mean? You guys remember the years before the Dungy years? Those were like the most boring years ever. Mookie's getting a lot of them. Yeah. Well, I think love and respect are a little bit different. Be Wicked, but I'm with you there. Trying to do different things, and that keeps hurting me even more. Tanner, I know I always say, and like you need to take your own advice kind of thing, but my biggest thing has always been in any sport, if you want to talk about the Seahawks versus Patriots, why stop doing what got you here? Run the ball. First and goal, run the ball. You got Marshawn Lynch, run the ball. Like, we know what got us here. We know what gets us good scores every single year. You've had a national number for 2 or 3 years now. Just keep doing what you do and let other people make mistakes, but it's so hard to take that advice sometimes. 2015 was the boring Dungy year, but it was cool to see Pike step up and crack those podiums. Oh, for sure. It was, for sure. Do you think Roczen comes back for outdoors at this point? No, I don't think so. I got experience. I've been watching Supercross. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking to Michael. Okay. I think he was saying get your experience, your fantasy experience. I think he was talking about fantasy. Nope, nobody is coming for your reputation right now. But no, I don't think so. I don't think we see. Do you guys think we better? Hey, full disclosure, we're about to talk about Ken Roczen. So if you don't like that, you should leave now. I don't want to get mad. But I just don't. I'm 50-50 if we ever see Ken again. And I just can't imagine he would retire like this. I can't imagine that he would retire like this. But I just can't imagine him wanting to race if he doesn't think he can compete for a title. I literally don't know. You know, I literally am like 50-50 on it. The Honda manager. Oh yeah, I if you guys don't know, I edit down the clips for Pulp MX on YouTube. And like I had to listen to that interview a couple times to get all of the stuff out of it that I needed. But I mean, dude, that was one of the best interviews from a team guy I think I've ever heard, where he was honest. Like he didn't say anything he wasn't supposed to say, but he was honest. You know what I mean? Even if he is a lock in 5th place guy, he's not interested. No, and I do not blame him. There are some guys you look at, you know, like LaRocco, Wyndham. There are some of the guys that they love the sport enough that they love the sport so much, and maybe it's because the sport is all they know, that they are totally content going out there and getting 5th and 7th and 9th and 10th. And you look at Brayton, he goes out and can get 12th every weekend, and he's fine. He's just happy to be out there. But there are other guys that are not. I'm one of the guys. I don't like doing anything I'm not good at. Great at. If I'm not great at it, I'm probably not going to do it for very long. And it's not like Ken can really improve. He is already so incredibly good. If dirt bike riders had Madden ratings, he's a 98. It's just really unfortunate that he keeps running into guys like Webb and Tomac that have 99 years. And there's nothing you can do about it, you know? He doesn't have to race a full season. I just don't think he's interested, Vic. I don't think he's interested in motocross like that. I think he's a very competitive person, but I think he would much rather... I don't think he would want to... I don't think he'd be that interested in dirt bikes if he wasn't competing. You know what I mean? Cooksey said Roczen. Oh, Ryan, you started off with Cooksey says. That's already... I'm already... Like, I got to put my seatbelt on. Hold on. Cooksey said Roczen and Honda are going different directions, and Ken may not even ride outdoors for Honda. Oh, that wasn't even that ridiculous. Cooksey said Jet will be on the 450. I doubt he'll be on the 450 because I think that Honda has not had a like they want to take every number one plate they can because they have not had many of them. So I feel like they're gonna milk that. I fully expect them to let Jet. Obviously, he's gonna run the number one in outdoors this year, and it looks like he's going to run the number one in indoors next year. I could totally see him going outdoor 450 for 2023. Especially if he wins back-to-back outdoors. But I don't see him moving up for Supercross next year. His shoulder injury changed him. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, injuries are gnarly, you know what I mean? Honda hasn't had... Vic, they had Sexton twice. I'm out. I'm in a must situation to go to bed. Whoa! Oh, man. Zach, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, dude. Take care. Have a good night. We will see you in 2 weeks. I'll let you guys know what we might do next weekend. I just don't have a good idea. I just know that I'm going to be bored as hell on a Saturday. So if I can come up with something that maybe we can all get into, I'll figure something out. We can do some kind of stream. Cooksey's a little up but not far. I don't have anything ill with Cooksey. It's just anytime you venture into that realm of being, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like the people that I have met that say Cooksey said, Ryan did not. Ryan did good, but the people that I have met that say Cooksey said have not always been the most pleasant exchanges that I've had. You know what I mean? I remember the toys. Oh, man, I remember. Yeah, the toys back then were so good. Do we think Jet is a top 5 guy in the 450s? Right now, no. Trent, no. He's going to make a lot of mistakes. I could, like, Trent, full disclosure, like, if Jet won a race in his rookie year, I don't think that'd be ridiculous. AC and Sexton both were very close to winning races their rookie year. So, but I feel like Jet might win 2 rounds, and Jet also will probably miss 2 rounds. I think if Jet is itching to move up that badly next year, 250 West, Tanner, you know what, that'd be interesting. I wish more riders would do the splitsies, but again, I also understand why they're not going to do that if they're in the title hunt just to be safe. You know what I mean? Jet should stay in 250 for 2 more seasons, in my opinion. Don't rush. I agree. Sorry, I'm making a point to Dan. Poor Paul and oh, that's why Dan's on my nuts. Okay. That's why Dan's on my nuts on Twitter, because he's angry and he's got to be right about something. I get it. Dan, I'm sorry. Did they do bad again this week? Yeah. Paul, what the hell did Paul, Jesus, Paul. Jesus, Paul. How did I also beat JT? These guys, man. These guys. Oh, God. Every time I'm like, I did a really bad week, and then I didn't do that bad of a week at all. Stop bringing up Jet when Hunter is doing good. You know what? They did bring Jet up a little bit on this broadcast, but it wasn't too bad. Dan knows better. No, Vic, the problem with Dan and Paul both is they are gamblers. The only rush they get is from gambling in their lives. Like, they're no longer racing, they're no longer competing. Like, that's why I think Paul was going out and doing the biking so hard right now. Like, they need that competition back in their life. And they want to gamble. And the problem is that every now and then, I've talked about this. I think I talked about this on the pod with them. Every now and then, you'll have Dan pull off one of these where he gets third overall because he went ridiculously, not ridiculous, like these weren't the most ridiculous picks, but his team was very sendy, but it works. And he'll take this one time to justify making huge reaches and being in the bottom of the barrel because he's always chasing this high. He needs to go, he needs help. He needs to talk to somebody. Oh. I had Greco and Ray tonight. I'm an idiot. Ray did okay. I think he still scored double, right? Everything on the broadcast is the Lawrence brothers. Yeah, that's fair. You know what's ridiculous is that it's a real shame that Justin Hill never did anything. Because we were going to have, 4 sets of brothers this year? That's just really weird to think about, that we were going to have 4 sets of brothers make main events in the same year. Because we had the Wagemans both made a main, the Lawrences both made a main, the Martins both made a main, and then the Hills would have both made a main, but it didn't happen. Do you like the stuff in the pits and what happens through the week over the film guy watching them? Oh, yeah, Jake, I don't care about that at all. The track stuff, I see them do it. Like, if they want to do a 30-second little banger in the middle of it, sure. But I want to know them as people. They're influencers. They're professional. Like, I don't want to watch, think of any other sport. You know what I mean, Jake? Like, would you watch your favorite baseball player just taking batting practice? Or, like, your favorite football player, just like running sprints. I know how good you are on a dirt bike. I don't know. You think Yelma keeps Ferrandis after this year? Yeah, I mean, he's the defending outdoor champion. They've got champions. As long as he's competitive outdoor again this year, I think they will, I think they're very interested in him. I don't see why they wouldn't be, you know. You have to play the game has changed a lot. Gambling used to be the way to win before Pulp came along, especially outdoors. Now guys have gotten too consistent. Yeah, that's fair, Tanner. That's fair. Consistency wins. It always will. I didn't think McAdoo was returning after the injuries had yet. Oh, B, I don't think McAdoo feels like the kind of kid that's just a straight competitor, and he wouldn't know what to do with himself if he wasn't competing, 24/7. Deegan is well ahead of the curve in marketing. Yeah, Shane, yeah, I think they're too far ahead of the curve. My biggest problem with the Deegans is I don't think they can do good enough. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think that no matter how, like, with the hype that is always surrounding that kid, I don't know how the hell they're gonna deliver on it. People are going to expect him to win the championship as a rookie, and that is literally not feasible. He could come out as a rookie and get podiums, and people will still be, like, disappointed in him. And that's going to weigh on his psyche so bad. It's going to suck so bad. I think on one of the review pods, JT mentioned Francis is already resigned. I wish they would make that stuff public like every other sport does. I think Hayden's going to be more like a Mumphy or a Swole. No, not necessarily. I don't know. Honestly, Vic, I think that if you ask me right now, I think that it is more likely that he ends up a Swole than he ends up a Jet. But I think that he's better. I think he's better than a Swole. I think he will be more successful. I shouldn't say he's better. I think he will have more success than a Swole, but I don't know. We'll see. If Eli is this good indoors, it's scary to think what he does outdoors. Yeah. I'm just really disappointed because I just hope that Eli doesn't run away with the outdoor title too. Luckily, the racing has been really good in Supercross, but I don't see it being like this in outdoors. I don't know why. Outdoor racing doesn't ever really have the exciting moments like Supercross does. So hopefully it sucks. Sam, what's up? Love the end of the year. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, this is the one. I feel like this is the one race of the year that I can bust out some baseball gear to wear for the after show. So I took it. This is a Griffey shirt, of course, and this is the Griffey Hall of Fame hat. I bought like 3 of these so that as they get bad, I have a backup. This is my last one actually, though. New subscriber here and loving this channel so much. So thank you. Keith, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If this is your first live show, I imagine, we do these every week. This being West Coast race, it's super late, so I apologize. But we normally do an hour and a half or so after every race. But I appreciate your support. Outdoors is so much faster. Yeah, I feel like the passes, I'm not saying they're not as close. Like, there are obviously good passes. But like, indoor, every pass feels like it happens with the guys are less than 5 feet away. But outdoors, there's so many passes where dudes just literally rail around the outside and are gone. You know what I mean? Before it gets too late and I lose some of you guys, I just want to pull up last week, last chance, last whatever, to win jerseys on Patreon. So if you guys want to support what I do so I can keep doing this, we got 2. Shout out to here, I'll switch camera over to wide camera. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Shout out to Team Solitaire for hooking me up with these 2 Robbie Wageman jerseys to give away to Patreons. So if you're not good at fantasy and you don't think you'll ever win the jersey, got you. So, does it come with our jerky? You know what, Vic? Maybe I could rig something up. We'll talk about it. But these are for March. I have something for April. I think I have April and May lined up. I'm trying to get ahead of the game. I'm trying to get all the stuff so I have it here. You know what I mean? So that I have it all when the month comes and whatever. But I've got April sitting right there. I'll unveil that for the St. Louis round, and then May is in the box. I think you guys will really like May. And then hopefully in St. Louis I can grab some more stuff for you guys. So it'll be cool. Love Supercross and outdoors, but there is nothing like getting drunk with your homies and enjoying some motocross on a hot summer day. There you go. Can we talk about the car? Yeah, that had to be a rental, Tan. I doubt, why would he have that car up in Seattle? With a broken neck, I can't imagine he's road tripping around the country in a sports car. I have terrible luck. I never win anything. Michael, that's not true. You just don't have exceptionally good luck. To win any kind of raffle, you have to have really good luck. That just because you don't win anything doesn't mean you have bad luck. Never shipped the Atom plate. I know, I still have the Atom plate because the person still has not responded to me. It's like, what's the point of doing these giveaways if the people are never going to respond? We'll have to just do I'll just do a redraw for January. I don't know how long I should give the person. I don't even know if they're still subscribed on Patreon. I wonder if they unsubscribe if I can still message them. I'll have to check it out. I haven't done it again. Raffle it off. Oh, I will, Ryan. I will. Like, if they don't respond, I will 100% raffle it off again. It is what it is. Does the shoe in the computer give the RAM an extra kick? Yeah, it helps it run. It runs a lot better, Vic. Like, I don't know if you've ever run barefoot versus running in a pair of nice trainers, but, like, definitely helps it run much better. Much more comfortable. Tonight, give it away here. Mile High, are you on the Patreon? What's your Patreon name? What's your Patreon name? Can you send me your Patreon information? Are you on the Patreon? What do you think separates the good channels with views from the ones that don't get the clicks and fade away? Like on YouTube, you mean? Thumbnail? Honestly, thumbnail. You have to make content. This goes the same way. This goes the same way with podcasts and stuff. You have to make content that somebody is looking for, that they cannot find elsewhere from a more reputable source. Does that make sense? So when I started doing the channel and I started doing all the fantasy stuff, nobody else was making fantasy motocross content. It was literally just, obviously Pulp had the podcast, but there was no video. But then once I transitioned into doing this, like luckily I already had enough reputation from the people that watch me for fantasy to follow into this, and because they watched it, it helped get me into the algorithm. But I see a lot of channels pop up and they'll kind of emulate a style, rather it be like this or like Racer X or whatever it may be. And you have to do something, you either have to do something unique, something better, or something more convenient. That's really the three that you've got to hit. And it sucks because I've been that person. I've been that person before I got this channel, where I tried to make content and it never picked up because I didn't have it all. Like, I didn't have, quite honestly, the content was good, but I wasn't making content anybody was looking for. Like, you got to make stuff people are looking for, and that's really it. What makes Mafia 57 and AJ good and others not? Also, you know what it is, Sleep? Those guys in particular, they're humans. They sell themselves. They're people. You feel like you know Kevin. You feel like AJ is your friend. And I think that's what makes those channels more important than, say, just whoever putting out like banger riding videos and practicing and stuff like that. It's influencer culture. People want to feel like they are your friends. And I think that's what's been so helpful for me doing Roto, is that a lot of the people that are in this chat right now have been with me since I started this channel 2 years ago. Like, there are a lot of names in chat that every single Saturday that I recognize from like the very beginning of Twitter. You've gotta be a human. We want humans. And I think that's why, even when you think of riders, why do people like AC so much? Why do people like Ken Roczen? They're vulnerable. We see them be vulnerable. We don't like robots. We don't like, Eli Tomac's an amazing athlete, but what do you know about him? He doesn't open up, and that makes it really difficult to, for me at least, to really be interested in Eli Tomac, because I don't know anything about him, because he doesn't tell us, if that makes sense. You were great on the wrap-up show. Jess, thank you. That was really stressful. Honestly, like, that was very stressful. It's really weird being on somebody else's stuff because I'm kind of now used to talking my own level and pace. I tried really hard not to over-talk, so I hope it wasn't too bad. Also, apparently I said one guy said I said poise too many times. So that's the critique that I've seen. But thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I found this channel through looking up Supercross 4 reviews. No way, B Wicked, really. I think it was funny because I don't know if you saw it or not, I posted one video about Supercross 4. We just went live the day it came out and I played it. That was before the channel was really like picking up. So that's weird. It's weird what you'll find sometimes. Biggest reason I like this and Dark Side deal is you actually get acknowledged over Pulp. And that's the thing too, and I will say it's a legitimate fear of mine, Jake. It might be an irrational fear, but like, I have the fear of, if Roto gets too big, I mean, you guys remember, for some of you guys that did the live after shows with me last year, there were like 20 or 30 people in chat, like 20 or 30 viewers total. And then this year we've had a couple weeks where we hit 300. And when chat's moving so fast, eventually I won't be able to keep up. Like, do you think Steve could actually read a chat when he has 1,500 people watching? It'd be impossible. So it is definitely something that being smaller allows you to be a more community-focused creator. But there will come a time, I shouldn't say there will come a time, there is a number where if we surpass this amount of people in the community, you kind of lose that like one-on-one connection. And I hope that if that time comes, I can find a way to manage it. You know what I mean? You did great with Darkside. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Eli is a Colorado boy. They are usually low-key and private people. And I respect that, Wicked. Like, I respect how everybody runs their program. But especially for, I guess Eli's a bad example. Like, if you talk about privateers, like Moran's and AJ, but then you look at other guys, and I don't even want to name any of them because I don't want to, like, shit on their program. But there's a lot of privateers that once upon a time, being pretty fast on a dirt bike was all you needed to be pro. That's not where we are anymore. I don't want to there was a guy that had an image that he probably made on his phone with like just a photo maker that he was looking for sponsors, and it looked terrible. The graphic just looked really bad, but I was like, why should I sponsor you? You haven't posted on Instagram in 4 months up until you asking for money. Does that make sense? Like, why should I sponsor you? There are so many guys out there that they don't get it. And none of these guys signed up for it when they were 10 and they were like, I want to be a pro motocross rider. They didn't know that 10 years later that to be a pro motocrosser, you also had to be an influencer. But that's where we are in this day and age, that everybody has to be an influencer. I'm an influencer just by having this channel. You know what I mean? 100% wrap up is stressful, and Darkside does a good job of moving it along. Yeah, for sure, for sure. 10 years ago, normal people... Yeah, 10 years ago, normal people used to call into Pulp. You still can. Yeah, Shane, people call into Pulp and wait 3 hours on hold. It's ridiculous. I'm not here often, but I've been watching the video since the beginning of Supercross last year, and it's cool to hear from everybody and hear his thoughts. Jared, I'm glad that you like this, because I definitely like this forum where we can all have a discussion about things that happen, especially when the race goes down. Found you this year. Lucky number, how did you find? Do you remember what video it was? I appreciate it. I was looking at the Lawrence brothers' career. Do you think going over to Europe first? Keith, yeah, I think that's something that, you know, and I don't want to diminish it, obviously, but a lot of people were like, Hunter had an amazing rookie season, but he wasn't a true rookie because he did have experience. I think a lot of guys going and getting a different, and I know that Europe motocross is still motocross, but you know, you look at Zach going and doing like GPs, and then you look at Hunter going to Europe. A lot of riders go to Europe. I think getting that different, I don't even know what you want to call it, different league of racing is a good, it just expands your skill set and will make you better to handle things, you know? Fantasy got started this year. Hell yeah, Lucky. I appreciate it. McGrath. Oh, I love McGrath so much, dude. I love McGrath so much. My man. I love that guy. Is Tomac superfan Dylan alive? Oh yeah, Vic. He was tweeting the other day. He waited until Eli won like 3. I have that guy muted. Yo, full disclosure, I mute and block people on Twitter all the time. I don't have time for it anymore. I had a guy today. Guys that get on my Twitter just to argue with me, I mute and block those people, man. I don't have time anymore. When I get on Twitter, I'm either working or I'm there for leisure, and neither one of those two things do I want to spend my precious time thinking about your stupidity. So the people that are on Twitter, if you're on Twitter and you're arguing with me and I never reply back, it's because I don't even see your messages. GPs teach you to be an adult and shows you other cultures, which makes you a better human. You know what, Dirty Al? That's a good call. That's a good call. I think everybody could use a little bit more of that for sure. I agree. Speaking of GPs and cultures, what time is the F1 race tomorrow? Do I have to be up early? Because I don't want to be up early. It's 2:20 in the morning. All right, the race isn't until like noon. Okay, cool. Good deal. Good deal. Blocking is a beautiful thing. Wicked, it is, man. It is. And I feel bad because a lot of people take that thing of like, oh, well, if I get blocked, I win. And I'm like, no, you don't. I don't want it. I don't want to see your garbage on my feed. at all. I just don't want, like, there was once upon a time when I was all in on arguing online and proving I'm the smarter guy and whatever, whatever, whatever. If you have a legitimate criticism about me or like the content that I put out, I will hear it. But any of the other people that just argue to argue, especially the people that only ever interact with me on the internet to argue, I don't have time for it anymore. You know what I mean? Talk about being all in. Lauren's family sold everything and couldn't get paid to race in Europe. Alan, I also love that too. They play that grassroots thing because I agree with you, but I also love that they act like they came from nothing, and I'm like, you know, they already had to have money to get there. I appreciate that it's paying off for them, but it's definitely not like as much of a rags to riches as the media has tried to play it up a little bit. You know what I mean? My boyfriend got into F1 last year, and I just can't. Jess, it's not for everybody. I like the I don't want to say the politics of it because politics sounds bad, but it's not so much the racing on the track that's really good as much as I like the strategy and the relationships between the drivers. And I think that Supercross could really learn a lot from F1. And they should, you know. Please tell us you don't have the voice. Oh, no. Voice of the Drunk People. You want to know how unblocked Voice of the Drunk People is, Vic? I think that Drunken People and Dirty Al are like two of the only people that are not like industry media people that I have an open like Twitter DM with. I try to keep like my business pages strictly business, like Instagram and Twitter. I try to only really follow people that help me do a better job with you guys because I read all my replies and everything anyway. So I don't need to follow you to be able to see that. But Drunken People and Dirty Hour too that I definitely DM with. You know what I mean? Have you ever been on a bike? James, since I was 2.5 years old. Have you ever been on a bike? What is y'all's first bike? I got a Suzuki JR50. It had the ugliest number plate backgrounds that I've ever seen. I've watched Drive to Survive, kinda, and my favorite is the Italian. I think he's a team manager. I'm not sure. I was going to say Steiner, but he's German, not Italian, but he's the team manager that you might like. Love seeing Hamilton not advance. Ryan, I'm torn because I have a lot of respect for Lewis Hamilton, and I know that it's really easy to dunk on the Yankees, and right now the Mercedes and Lewis both have been like the most dominant team and driver the sport has ever seen. Blah blah blah. I get why you don't want to root for them, but I wish I would like it better if Lewis was competitive and lost than for Lewis to be not competitive, especially if this is going to be his final season, which it may very well be. So I'm torn on how this year's going so far. Oh, dude, I love Yuki so much, Dirty Hour. I love Yuki so much. Especially that picture of him sitting in the room when they were debating about racing or not, and he's just like so done. I love him so much. Craig needs to learn how to be passed. I agree, Peyton. I agree. He never lets off and then complains about being taken down. Yep. In Peyton, it's not just complaining. It's just a level of maturity. Like in that instance, if you think about it, because imagine Craig wants to be a 450 guy so bad, he should, you Barsha, Eli, none of them would have came on and said, "Oh, that's the third time I've been cleaned out." Blah 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 blah. Like they just be like, "Yeah, got into some stuff, but rode good, made it back." Blah blah blah. Do you think Baggett is done? Shane, 100%, because if Baggett specifically did not renew his number. So if you guys don't know, the way the number system works is if you earn a national number, you have to earn a certain number of points to keep it. However, if you have an extenuating circumstance, such as an injury, a contract dispute, something along those lines, you can say, "Hey, I want to keep my number," and they will give you that. They will give you at least one year of it. He literally didn't even, and apparently the AMA even, I don't remember who it was, but it might have been on Pulp Show. Somebody said this. The AMA tried to reach out to Blake to be like, "Hey, do you want to keep your number?" And he just straight up didn't reply. So we're going to never see him again, allegedly. Like, that's how it's going to go. My dad is NCR's chairman. If you want to get in with them, I will help you any way I can. I appreciate it. Probably my plate is really full right now, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a mup here, and good area up there for sure. JR50s, yeah, man. Sleep. I wish I still had it. It was funny because my cousin had a PW50, and I rode it one time, and I was faster on the PW50, but I hated it. I know that's so dumb. I hated the throttle response on the JR50 so much. You guys probably, if you guys ever rode them, you know what I'm talking about. Even at 6, I was like, I don't like the way this throttle feels. Why has he never moved up? Keith, you mean Craig? Craig has said, actually, Paige, his wife, said this on the vlog or on the broadcast or whatever a few weeks ago, where they're waiting for a factory team. And Paige said, like, what? He wants to move up. What do you want him to do? Go to the dealership and buy a bike? And it's like, yes. Logan Carnow just did it. Like, Craig, we all know, guys, especially in this field right now, Craig could drive to his local dealership, buy a Yamaha. He knows enough people to get some A-kit suspension, and he could go out in the 450 class right now and be a top 8 guy. But he doesn't want that. He wants to be paid $500,000 guaranteed contract by a big team. And so he's going to do what the rules will allow him to do until that happens. And that is valid and fair. And I do not blame him because he is playing within the rules. But also don't act like you don't have options. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Fastest clutch hand in the West. Alan, I love that for you. Do you think no, Wicked, absolutely not. No. Mosiman's pass was one of the best passes we have seen all year, and I'm not going to go as far as to say it's on Craig for falling over, because I am never one to victim blame, but Craig could have 100% avoided that pass, or avoided going down in that instance. He just thought he was going to be able to ride out of it. I think he legitimately thought he could prevent himself from being passed there, and he just cannot. You know what I mean? $100,000 for a year and a lot of selling himself work, or $100,000 a weekend if he wins. Yeah, and it's a thing. I don't blame him, Jake. Like, I literally do not blame him for doing what he wants to do. But I just hate how he acts like he has no other choice but to stay down here. That's ludicrous. Rider girlfriends are annoying. They definitely can be. Don't worry, guys. Not like me directly, but I witnessed a rider girlfriend incident while I was on media day things, and yeah, not for me. Did they ever say what the red light on Craig's bar was? Yeah, they did, but I can't remember what it was. It was something about breathing. I think it was tied up to his cardio. It was something to do with like helping him breathe or whatever, like helping him physically. I'm over here in Australia, and lots of MX guys here do that. Go out to a dealer, buy a bike to race, because over here there's not that many factory teams. Yeah, Keith, and that's the thing is, and like I said, I don't blame the guy for staying down. We all would do it. If you could do it, you would do it. The only reason you see guys like Carnow and Starling and stuff like that move up to the 450 class willingly, Morans, is because the money is better on a privateer level. But if you're on a team level, you go where the money is, and I don't blame them at all. Andrew McFarland's girlfriend was wearing a see-through dress at High Point one year. All he cared about was where she was all day. Oh man, I could only imagine. No thanks for me. But I'm gonna wrap it up. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. I will let you guys know. I'll have a video out obviously tomorrow. I'll probably do the video about the Mosiman pass, the Mosiman Craig pass. Unless the press conference has had anything really big or anything that I missed, but we'll do that. I will see you guys. I'll do the videos for that. If nothing else, I'll be at St. Louis. So if you guys will be at St. Louis, let me know if anybody's going to be there. I'll be at the Pulp Show on Friday night beforehand if you want to meet up. I'll meet up on Saturday, but full disclosure, my Saturdays have been way busier than I thought they'd be being at the race, so I don't have a big window to meet up with people, but I'd love to meet up with you there. But if I can throw something together for next Saturday to give us all something to do, let me know if you're interested in that, and I will see what I can work out. But until next time, hey, be good people. Keep it pinned to the weekend. I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.